In a world where unemployment tightens, the cost of living rises, and anxiety seems suffocating, life can become a daily battle. It's as if every dawn brings a new burden on the shoulders, a new worry in the heart. For many, the future seems uncertain, and the struggle to keep one's head above water has never been more real. But amid this chaos, there are those who, despite everything, refuse to give up. Carlos is one of these warriors, a family man who, for many years, worked tirelessly to provide for his household. He knew the value of every penny, the weight of every responsibility. But suddenly, everything changed. The job he had taken for granted, which paid the bills and filled the pantry, disappeared. In an instant, his life turned upside down. Imagine losing everything you've built, the firm ground turning into quicksand. The bills start to pile up, food on the table becomes scarce, and the pressure to find a solution consumes him. Sleepless nights and endless days become Carlos's new routine. He wonders, with his head buried in the pillow, "Why is this happening to me?" As the sun rises once again, Carlos faces the mirror with tired eyes full of uncertainty. The lost hours of sleep have left deep marks on his face, but it's the weight of responsibility that truly suffocates him. He tries to hide his despair, especially from his wife and children, who still believe in the unwavering strength of the man who supports them. But inside, Carlos feels like he's falling apart. Day after day, he sends out resumes, makes calls, and knocks on doors that never open. Rejection has become a constant companion, and with each no he hears, the fear grows, whispering in his ear that maybe he's no longer capable, that maybe this is the end of the road. But on a grey morning, when despair nearly wins, something unexpected happens. Amid the exhausting routine, Carlos is reminded of an old conversation he had in a time that seemed simpler. "You just need one reason to keep going." These words, which once sounded like any other advice, now echo in his mind with new intensity. Suddenly, like a ray of light piercing through the darkness, he realizes that his reason has always been there, right before his eyes: his family. They are the reason he wakes up every day, the reason he endures the pain, the shame, the fear. And at that moment, something inside him changes. The hopelessness that suffocated him begins to give way to a quiet determination. Carlos knows that finding a new job won't be easy. He knows that the days of uncertainty are far from over. But now, there's a flame within him that cannot be extinguished. He decides that instead of just looking for a job, he will reinvent himself, rediscover his worth, and create new opportunities. He is determined to fight, no matter how tough the battle becomes. And so, with newfound strength, Carlos begins his journey of transformation. He explores skills he had never considered before, connects with people who can open new doors, and finds hope in every small progress he makes. Each day is a new chance, and he is determined to make every step count. With a renewed heart and a determination he never knew he had, Carlos begins to forge a new path. He realizes that to overcome the challenges ahead, he needs to step out of his comfort zone, explore uncharted territories, and embrace the unknown with courage. One quiet afternoon, while researching opportunities that could change his life, Carlos comes across something that rekindles an old passion: physical education. He always loved sports, always encouraged his friends to stay active, but never imagined he could turn it into a career. However, now, with the need to reinvent himself, this idea takes on new light. Carlos decides to enroll in a physical education college. It's a bold decision, especially considering his age and the responsibilities he carries. The classes, the assignments, the internships, all of it represents an enormous challenge. But Carlos is determined to do whatever it takes to give his family the stability they need. In the silent nights, while his family sleeps, Carlos studies, immersed in books. learning about the human body, the science of movement, and the importance of physical health. He finds himself surrounded by energetic young people, and although he sometimes feels out of place, he refuses to give up. Every new theory learned, every exercise mastered, is a personal victory. He realizes that he is rebuilding himself, that this journey is not just about earning a degree, but about rediscovering who he is and what he is capable of. At the same time, Carlos begins to connect with people he hadn't previously seen as allies. He joins study groups, makes friends with classmates and professors, and finds support where he least expected. He discovers that many there, like him, are seeking a second chance, a reinvention. Among them, he meets Marcos, a former athlete who also decided to return to study and who shares his experiences and challenges. Marcos's story inspires Carlos, showing him that it's never too late to follow a passion, to turn an old dream into reality. But this new journey is not easy. Carlos faces deep doubts, questioning if he is really capable of keeping up with the pace of the classes, of standing out in such a competitive field. And with each new obstacle, the shadow of failure lurks, ready to bring him down. However, each time discouragement threatens to take over, Carlos remembers his motivation, his family. He recalls the smiles of his children, the trust his wife places in him, and it gives him the strength to keep going. He understands that this fight is not just for him, but for all those who depend on him, who believe in him, even when he doubts himself. So day after day, he keeps moving forward. Every theory he learns, every new contact he makes, every small victory he achieves is a step toward a better future. And without realizing it, Carlos begins to transform not only his life, but also the way he sees the world. Not as a place full of closed doors, but as a space filled with possibilities, waiting to be discovered. As the months pass, Carlos starts to stand out in his physical education program. He's not the youngest in the class, but he is certainly one of the most dedicated. In every lesson, he absorbs everything like a sponge, determined to turn the knowledge into something practical, something that can make a difference not only in his life, but in the lives of others. However, as the course progresses, new challenges arise. The academic demands increase, and time seems to be an unforgiving enemy. Carlos needs to balance classes, studies, and still find ways to support his family. The pressure is intense, and sleepless nights once again become a part of his routine. He's forced to make tough decisions, like taking on temporary jobs to ensure his family's livelihood, even if it means sacrificing study hours. Amid this storm, Carlos begins to apply what he's learning in college. He starts helping friends and neighbors with exercise tips, and soon the word spreads. People from the community begin to seek him out for guidance, and Carlos realizes that he might be heading towards something bigger than he had imagined. He starts organizing small outdoor classes where he teaches simple exercises and talks about the importance of a healthy life. These classes are not just a way to practice what he's learning, but also to reconnect with the community, to feel that he's making a difference. And it is precisely in this scenario that a new idea begins to take shape in his mind. What if he could turn this initiative into something more structured, into a business that would not only sustain his family, but also benefit the community? The idea of opening a community gym starts to take form. Carlos sees this as a chance to combine his passion for physical education with the need to provide for his family. However, he knows that this will not be easy. He will need resources, support, and even greater determination to make this dream a reality. But at the same time, he feels an excitement he hasn't felt in a long time, the feeling that he is on the right path, that despite all the difficulties, he is creating something meaningful. Carlos begins to research entrepreneurship, learning how to start and manage a business. He talks to professors, seeks mentors, and attends local events to better understand how to turn his idea into reality. Every step he takes is a step in the right direction, but also a step that requires courage and resilience. Meanwhile, his family begins to notice the changes. His children see the sparkle in their father's eyes, the one that had disappeared during the months of unemployment and uncertainty. His wife, who has always believed in him, begins to see not just a dedicated husband, but also a man who is rediscovering and reinventing himself. And so, Carlos's journey continues. He doesn't know exactly what the future holds, but he knows that he's willing to fight for it. Because deep down, he understands that what he's building is not just a business, but a new life, a new hope. Not just for himself, but for all those around him. Carlos is more determined than ever. He knows the road is long and full of obstacles, but he also knows that with each step he takes, he is closer to turning his dream into reality. And with that, he reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there is always a light ahead waiting to be reached. The days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months. Carlos's journey to transform his idea into reality is not easy. He faces a series of unexpected obstacles. The search for investors is a path full of closed doors, and each rejection is a painful reminder that success is not guaranteed. Carlos, however, does not let this bring him down. He uses each difficulty as a learning opportunity. He adjusts his business plan, refines his vision, and begins to look for creative alternatives to fund his gym. He sells some of his personal belongings and turns to friends and family to secure the financial boost needed to bring his dream to life. From these hardships, he begins to see a pattern, a lesson that success does not come easily, but through persistence and innovation. Carlos learns to negotiate with suppliers, optimize costs, and create a training environment that is both accessible and welcoming to the community. He dedicates countless hours to the project, risking his time and effort to ensure that every detail is perfect. But even with all the hard work, there are moments when doubt creeps back in. He questions whether he is making the right decisions, whether he will actually be able to attract clients, and whether the sacrifice is worth it. In these moments of doubt, he remembers the toughest times of his past and how much he fought to get here. He recalls the words of encouragement from his wife, the pride in his children's eyes, and this motivates him to keep going. Finally, the long-awaited day arrives. The gym is ready to open its doors. Carlos is nervous, but the excitement of finally seeing his dream come true surpasses the fear. He organizes a simple but meaningful opening event to celebrate with the community that has supported him throughout his journey. He sees familiar faces, friends who helped, and new members excited to begin this new phase of their lives. As the gym begins to welcome its first clients, Carlos watches with a mix of pride and relief. He sees people who, like him, are looking to improve their lives, and he feels that he is doing something truly important. Each new member, each smile of satisfaction is confirmation that his effort was not in vain. And so Carlos begins to see the fruits of his determination. The gym is not just a space to work out, but a symbol of endurance and resilience. Each challenge overcome, each obstacle conquered, is proof that he never gave up, even when everything seemed impossible. The future is still uncertain, but Carlos has learned that true victory lies not only in the final outcome, but in the journey itself, in the courage to keep going, the strength to persist, and the ability to turn adversities into opportunities. And with this, he shows all of us that, even when the path seems dark, there is always a chance to create a new light. Carlos's journey is a powerful reminder that when it comes to fighting for our dreams, true strength lies in never giving up. Carlos's gym opens its doors, and the first days are a mix of joy and tension. The energy in the air is palpable, but he knows that the real test is just beginning. Success doesn't come only with the inauguration, but with the ability to maintain momentum, to create an environment that attracts and retains clients, and to build a solid reputation. Carlos dedicates himself fully to making the gym a unique place. He engages directly with the members, gets to know their stories, their goals, and uses this connection to personalize the service. He organizes free workshops on health and fitness and creates a series of community events to foster a sense of belonging. Each interaction is an opportunity to demonstrate his commitment and build a solid base of loyal customers. Despite the enthusiasm, the road is not without difficulties. Carlos faces unexpected problems, from equipment failures to administrative challenges and financial issues. Each challenge seems to be a new test of his determination, requiring quick and effective solutions. He spends sleepless nights adjusting budgets, dealing with suppliers, and finding new ways to attract more customers. As the gym stabilizes, Carlos begins to notice the impact he's making. He sees people who arrived there unmotivated, and through his work and dedication, are finding new motivations and overcoming their own challenges. The stories of transformation start to accumulate, and each one of them is a testament to Carlos's hard work. One day, while organizing an outdoor workout session, one of the gym's oldest members approaches him with a smile. He thanks Carlos for being a source of inspiration and for helping change his life. This moment of recognition is a turning point for Carlos, who realizes that his struggle was not just for his own survival, but also for making a real difference in the lives of those around him. Over time, the gym becomes a community landmark. Carlos sees his work transforming into something more than just a business, a mission to inspire and empower others. He is invited to give lectures, receives community recognition awards, and most importantly, continues to see the positive impact of his work every day. But even with growing success, Carlos never forgets the path he took to get there. He continues to seek ways to improve, to expand, and to reinvent himself. He knows that although he has achieved much, true success lies in maintaining passion and determination, continuing to learn, and growing alongside his community. Each day is a new chance to make a difference. Each challenge is an opportunity to show that even in the most difficult circumstances, persistence and dedication can lead to extraordinary achievements. Carlos has not only built a gym, he has built a legacy, a testament that when you refuse to give up, the possibilities are endless. After months of struggle and dedication, Carlos's journey reaches a point of fulfillment that he never imagined. His gym is not just a place to train the body, but a symbol of perseverance, a community built with love and effort. The impact he created goes far beyond the walls of the establishment. It's a testament that even in times of crisis and uncertainty, determination and courage can transform lives. Carlos continues to inspire and lead, always with an open heart and a mind focused on how he can do more. He remembers the sleepless nights, the doubts and the difficulties, but he also takes pride in the victories, the friendships formed, and the success stories he helped write. Each smile, each thank you, is confirmation that his decision to fight was worth it. Looking to the future, Carlos knows that the journey never ends. There are always new challenges to face, new goals to achieve, and new dreams to realize. But he also knows that he has the strength to keep going, because he has learned that true success is not just about reaching a goal, but about the resilience to keep moving forward, no matter the adversities. And now we leave you with a question. What will you do with your today? Remember that every day is a new chance to transform your life and achieve your goals. Sometimes the path is difficult and the destination seems distant, but true strength lies in not giving up, in continuing to move forward, and in finding opportunities even in adversity. If Carlos's story touched you, if it inspired you to pursue your own dreams and fight for your goals, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any motivational stories. Share this video with those who need a boost to keep moving forward, and leave a comment below telling us how you are making today count. We want to hear your stories, your victories, and your challenges. Thank you for watching, and remember, the journey is difficult, but every step forward is an achievement. Until next time.